the 559th day of the war in Ukraine, the fighting was concentrated in these areas. On the Zaporizhzhia front, heavy battles continue south of Robotine as well as in the trenches west of Verbove. Ukrainian forces managed to make small but important advances as in the last 24 hours they broke through the Russian defenses in several directions. Based on geolocated footage published by Russian sources, it is confirmed that the Ukrainian forces increased their control over the Surovikin line not only by establishing a good control over the anti-tank ditch, but also by penetrating and capturing a part of the manned trenches. Yesterday, Ukrainian sources published images of this area where it seems that the Ukrainian artillery conducted massive shelling over the Russian trenches, preparing the ground for the advance of the elite assault units of the 82nd Air Assault Brigade. For the moment, it is not confirmed if the Ukrainian forces have continued to advance inside the last trench line of the main Russian defense, but today Ukrainian sources published footage of the soldiers of the 82nd Air Assault Brigade operating inside the trenches. According to them, this footage shows that Ukrainian soldiers have cleared a significant part of the Russian fortifications near Verbove, but for the moment, this footage has not been geolocated yet. Today, Ukrainian sources published footage of the first confirmed destroyed Challenger 2 tank. In this video, which is reportedly filmed somewhere near Verbove, Ukrainian soldiers passed by the destroyed tank, which is covered in flames most likely as a result of a Russian artillery strike. On the other side of the front, Ukrainians managed to penetrate the Russian defenses north of Novoprokopivka. On footage published by Russian drone units, Ukrainian forces are seen entering the Russian trenches located in the forests between Robotine and Novoprokopivka. This is the last trench line that separates the Ukrainian forces from the northern outskirts of the Russian-controlled town. It is still not completely clear if the Ukrainian forces have taken full control over this area, but the fighting continues and the situation is likely as shown on this satellite map published by the Blackbird Group. Russian forces continue to suffer a lot from Ukrainian artillery strikes in their rear. After the destruction of a large Russian convoy 2 days ago in the area south of Verbove, today the Ukrainian artillery delivered a series of precise HIMARS strikes against the Russian artillery, destroying multiple artillery and rocket systems of the Russian forces. In the Vremivka-Vuhledar sector, the Ukrainian forces resumed their offensive actions in the central part of the front line. As reported by Russian and Ukrainian sources, Ukrainian troops have begun to test the Russian defenses and are organizing small probing attacks, testing the ground for possible large-scale operations. Today, in the early hours of the morning, Ukrainian forces attacked the villages of Novodonetske and Novomaiorske and advanced using armored vehicles and supported by artillery fire. Russian sources informed that the Ukrainian army has gathered a considerable number of troops in the areas north of the Novodonetske Novomaiorske line and will most likely attack and try to take these two villages under their control. On the ground, Russian sources have been reporting for some time that Ukrainian artillery dominates these areas and constantly shells the Russian positions in preparation for the expected offensive on these two settlements. Ukrainian forces have managed to advance in the areas west and north of Novodonetske, but as Russian sources explain, the Ukrainian forces are being careful not to fall under the fire range of the Russian artillery, and for now the attacks are carried out by small groups which are quickly withdrawn to avoid becoming an easy target for the Russian artillery. I remind you that the Ukrainian forces have applied the same strategy in taking Urozhaine and Staromayorsk. This way, Ukrainian forces reduce their losses while maximizing the advantage they have in terms of firepower. In the other part of the front, Ukrainian forces continue to pressure the Russian defenses in the area south of Vuhledar. It is reported that Ukrainian forces have returned to the grey areas north of Pavlivka, while southwest of the city, Ukrainians improved their tactical positions in the direction of Shevchenko. Friends, if you like my daily updates, I kindly ask you to hit the like and subscribe buttons, as this will greatly help the channel to reach a wider audience. That's all for today's update. Thank you to my Patreon supporters and have a great day.